Today I'm going to be showing you how to fold an origami paper crane. Now these are decorative paper cranes. They are good for putting on Christmas tree lights. They look really pretty that way. You can hang them on strings and decorate them. They are not, however, the origami paper cranes that flap their wings when you pull their heads and tails. So if you're looking for that tutorial, go find it somewhere else. Let's get started. Alright everybody, for this project we're going to need plain white paper, a pair of scissors, a pencil, whatever you're gonna decorate your paper with, and your imagination. Unless of course you're using origami paper that's, already square and already pre-decorated, and you don't really need any of this, you just need your paper.
If you're using plain white computer paper, you're gonna first need to cut that paper into a square. If you already know how to do this, you're smarter than half the people I've ever tried to show this to. To make a square, you take the upper corner of your paper and fold it down to the opposite edge, making sure you have a nice little point at the bottom corner. You then crease that paper well, and you will be cutting off the extra paper. Cut carefully because having a square is key to making a perfect paper crane. Now for the fun part! Decorating paper cranes is a ton of fun, but you don't need to waste time coloring the whole paper. You really only need to hit an X across the diagonals to cover the head, tail, and wings of your paper crane. You don't need to decorate both sides of the paper either, just one will be enough. Okay, so the first folds you're going to make on your origami paper crane are actually going to be on the diagonals you just decorated on. You're going to fold the paper in half, making sure that your corner is perfectly lined up. And then you're going to go and you're going to crease the paper really well. Again, you want to make sure all the points and tips are really pointy for a perfect paper crane. Unfold it and do the same to the other side. So it goes in half both ways. Crease well, and then unfold. Once you got the first few folds done, you're going to take your paper and you're going to flip it over, so it's decorated side down. We're then going to fold it in half in the opposite direction from what we just folded in, so we end up with a rectangle instead of a triangle. And again, you want to make sure all your edges and corners are lined up and crease extra well. And you're going to unfold that, and you're going to fold it in the last direction. And when you unfold that last fold in half we just made, you should end up with like a compass rose pattern on your paper. You're going to then take your pointer fingers and you're going to put them at the east and west corners of your paper, making sure your thumbs and forefingers are underneath the paper, and you're just kind of pinch and fold the top corners of your paper together so it's nice and pointy. And then you're going to flatten it and lay it down on the table. Take the second to crease and fold your paper again. The pointier and nicer your creases are, the easier the final folds will be. Alright, so you see those little flaps on the top and bottom of your paper. Make sure that the open flap on the top is facing away from you. Take a single layer of the flap on the right side of your diamond and fold it in so the edge lines up with the center line. Make sure it's pointy at the top, and remember to crease that extra well. This will make your next set of folds easier. Do the same thing to the opposite side. Crease well. Then we're going to take the whole bottom part of that diamond and we're going to fold that part up. We're going to make sure that's lined up with the bottom of the folds we just made, and we're going to crease that extra well as well, even though we are just going to unfold that. We're then going to unfold those last two other folds we made, and we're going to flip our whole diamond over. Again, make sure the open top part is away from you, and we're going to repeat what we did on the other side of the paper, taking only the top layer of flaps on either side of your paper and folding the edges in to touch the center line. We're gonna crease those extra well and make sure they're as neatly folded as we can before folding the bottom up one more time, creasing that, and eventually unfolding it. Unfold the fold you just made and make sure everything is perfectly pointy and aligned. If things are not perfectly pointy up top and on the sides, then you can always just refold and crease again. Now we're going to take a whole paper, we're going to lift it up so it's open side up. We're going to take the first layer of that paper, pinching the other layers, and we're going to actually open up that little pocket right inside there. We're gonna then take that whole corner on that side and we're gonna push it in on the folds you just made. If you made good creases and good folds, this whole process should go in pretty easily. We're gonna do the same thing to the opposite side, right on that fold you just made. Remember, these will be your wingtips, so the nicer they look, the nicer your final crane will look. And we're gonna take that whole little pocket and we're gonna push it back in. We're then gonna take that whole paper, we're gonna lift it up so it's open side up. We're gonna take the first layer of the paper, pinching the others together, and we're gonna actually open up that little pocket inside there. All the way. We're then gonna take the corners of the paper and we're gonna push them in gently. If you made good folds, last couple folds, and good creases, we should be able to push these pockets in without much issue. Again, take the second to crease your paper one more time before grabbing the top layer of that fold you just made and folding it all the way down. Crease again. And flip your paper over and do the same thing to this side of the paper. You now have an oblong diamond shape with open little feeties at the top. And we're going to take that diamond shape and we're going to rotate it 90 degrees to make these next folds. We're going to take the top layer of the flap there and we're going to fold it up to meet the center line. We're gonna fold that gently and crease it extra well before continuing on to the opposite side, doing the same exact fold there, just taking the first layer of paper, folding it up so it's nice and pointy at the ends, and pressing down, creasing well, and we're gonna take that whole paper, flip it over one more time, and do the exact same folds on this side with the first layer of paper, folding it up to the center line, creasing that extra well, and then doing it one last time for the fourth time on the opposite side of that. The pointier the paper here, the nicer your head and tail of your paper crane will be. We're gonna take those open little feeties one more time and fold them all the way up to the tip-top points of those wings. And we're gonna pinch and press as hard as we can there. Do that the same to the other foot, pinch and press. Unfold those and we're gonna flip the paper over and we're gonna do it the same thing to that side of the paper. Crease these well, make sure they're pressed down as hard as you can and unfold those, and then you're gonna gently slip your thumb into the side of the paper, open it up, and we're gonna take one little feety and we're gonna fold it up. If you made nice creases and nice folds beforehand, it should go up easily and you can just press it in gently. Do the same to the other side of your paper, gently pressing up and in and creasing the whole thing. Pick a side to be your head. I usually pick the less pointy end because the pointy end looks better for the tail. And you're just gonna press that head down and in gently. And then you're gonna take your paper crane, put your thumbs to the top, your fingers to the bottom, and you're gonna gently pull up and out to pop your paper crane into shape.
congratulations on folding your first paper crane. Now only 999 more to go get your wish. I hope this tutorial is helpful. Thank you for watching and have a great day.